FYI guys, meron na naman tayong bagong pag-uusapan. At sigurado ako, marami kayong matututunan dito. Pero teka lang, kung bago ka pa lang po sa channel ko, ay huwag po kalimutang mag-subscribe, mag-like, pakihit po ng bell notification para po updated ka sa mga bagong educational videos na i-upload ko linggo-linggo. At huwag po kalimutang mag-share. Paki-share po sa ating mga kapamilya, sa ating mga kaibigan, para mas marami pa tayong matutulungang mga mag-aaral at mga magulang, lalong-lalo na po ngayon na bawal or walang face-to-face classes. Interim guidelines of the preparation, submission, and checking of school forms for the school year 2020-2021. And ito po ay ang DepEd Order number 14 series of 2021. So ito po, napapanahon po ito sapagkat malapit na po yung submission, preparation, and checking of forms sa end of school year natin, sa school year 2020-2021. Ngayon po, ang pag-uusapan po natin ay ang preparation and submission of school forms. Ang unang-unang pag-uusapan po natin ay of course ang School Form 1 or SF1, which is also known as School Registry. Additional data elements for learning modality shall be added in the existing SF1. The learning modality shall be updated whenever the learner shifts from one learning modality to another. At the end of each quarter, the updated modality shall be generated through the Learner Information System as official quarterly enrollment count per modality. The age to be recorded in the form is the learner's age by October 31, 2020. Okay, so dito po sa SF1 natin ay halos lahat naman po ay parehas lang yung entry, pero meron lang po tayong additional na idinagdag na column at ito po ay sa learning modality. Okay, so ito nga po ang ating example. So, wala naman pong halos lahat po ay parehas lang ng dati. Ang pinagbago lang natin ay nagdagdag tayo ng learning modality. Kasi po, ilalagay natin dito yung, ito po ang paglagay po natin ng learning modality dito ay by quarter. Okay? So, halimbawa yung quarter 1, yung learning modality na ginawa mo, just in case ay online, so dapat ilagay mo rin dyan online. Pagdating naman sa quarter 2, kung iba naman, halimbawa modular naman sa quarter 2, and so on, so dapat ilagay natin dyan. Okay? So yan po ang nabago or idinagdag sa SF1. Okay? Okay. So yon, learning modality. Ngayon naman po pupunta tayo sa School Form 2, SF2, which is also known as daily attendance. Given the temporary suspension of face-to-face learning and the implementation of different learning modalities, teachers, advisors may choose an applicable learner attendance conversion tool or LACT that can be considered in checking the learner's attendance. The chosen norm of attendance checking should be explained to parents, learners, for awareness and transparency. So mamaya po meron po tayong example nitong LACT at kung paano tayo mag-convert ng contact time natin into attendance sa ating learners. The SF2 that are already prepared by teachers for the first 2 quarters should be adapted without any further modification. Okay? So wala po tayong babaguhin. Wala po tayong i-modify. Okay? Hence, the adoption of the LACT is only applicable and should only be used for the 3rd and 4th quarters of the school year 2020-2021. So, very clear naman po na yung LACT po ay gagamitin lang natin sa quarter 3 at saka sa quarter 4. Yung SF2 po natin na ginamit natin sa quarter 1 at saka quarter 2, yun na po yun. Hindi na po tayo maglalagay or magmumodify na lalagyan natin ng LACT. Okay? Okay, so ito po ang sample natin ng SF2 na mayroon na pong idinagdag tayo na Learner Attendance Conversion Tool. Okay? So yan po. At of course, may nabago rin dito sa baba ay ang dropout na row ay inilagay na NLPA. Okay? So ayan. Yan po ang idinagdag natin, Learner Attendance Conversion Tool. Okay? And of course, dito, yung remarks natin, hindi na po dropout, kundi NLPA. Ang ibig sabihin po ng NLPA, no longer participating in learning activities. Okay? And of course, dito po sa baba, dati-rati po, yan po ay dropout. Ngayon po ay NLPA na nga. Okay. So ito na po, pupunta natin yung Learner Attendance Conversion Tools. So paano po tayo magko-convert ng ating contact time with our learners into attendance. Okay? So pupunta po muna tayo sa Locked 1. Yung Locked 1 po natin ay gagamitin po natin yung conversion niya kung ang ating distance learning modality na ginamit ay online. Okay? So ito po ay for online classes with daily checking of attendance using whatever electronic digital platform or applications. So kung ang ginagamit po natin, tayo po ay nagdi-discuss with our learners, synchronous po, yung gumagamit tayo ng Google Meet, yung Zoom, at kung ano pang platform yan na synchronous, yan po ay online sa ating distance learning modality. At Locked 1 ang ating gagamitin. Okay? The learner shall be considered present even in the case where he or she was only able to enter the online learning platform for a few minutes due to internet connectivity issues. Okay? So, present na po siya kahit na naka-enter lang siya ng platform ng kunting minutes lang kasi nga baka mahina yung internet connection. Okay? And as long as there is notification via text or chat from the learner, parent, or guardian. No any form of contact for the day means absent. Okay? So yan po ang ibig sabihin ng paggamit ng Locked 1. Pupunta tayo sa Locked 2. Ang Locked 2 naman po ay ito po ay gagamitin natin sa pag-convert ng contact time natin sa ating mga learners or parents or guardians kapag ang ginagamit nating learning modality ay all distance learning modalities. So ano-ano ba yon? Okay? So dito, basahin ko lang. The frequency of contact or communication with a parent, guardian, or even with the learner in whatever approach can be converted into class day attendance. Okay. Note that contact or communication efforts may vary depending on the distance learning modality and may include but not limited to electrical, digital communication, using of designated drop or pick up kiosk or middleman for printed modules, phone calls, text messaging, handheld cyber radio, letter correspondence, or attending meetings. Okay? Attending meetings ito. Okay? So, yan po. So, halos lahat po. Ito, kaya nga po dito, ay nakalagay dito sa last column natin, ay all distance learning modalities. Okay? Locked 2 po ang gagamitin natin. Okay? To illustrate, in a week schedule of 6 class days, in a modular learning approach, the equivalent class days for distribution is 3 and another 3 days for retrieval. Okay? So, sa ating modular learning approach po natin, ang isang week po natin ay 6 class days. Ito po ay 3 class days for distribution at saka 3 class days for retrieval. So, yan po yung pag-compute po natin. This is to complete the 6 class day per week stipulated in DepEd Order 30 series of 2020. Okay? So yan po kasi yung nakalagay sa DepEd Order na dapat nating sundin. Therefore, the weekly schedule for both distribution and retrieval of modules may be counted as 2 contact efforts. Okay? Ngayon, pupunta na po tayo dito sa conversion. So, halimbawa yung attendance checking natin ay weekly. The number of contact efforts natin, 1 contact efforts for distribution and 1 contact efforts for retrieval. Okay? So, kanina nga, sinabi natin, no, yung isang contact effort ay equivalent to 3 class days sa attendance. Okay? So, meron tayong 3 class days sa distribution at meron din tayong 3 class days sa retrieval. So, kung ang weekly natin ay mayroon tayong 6 class days, of course, sa monthly ay mayroon tayong 24. Bakit? Kasi ang isang month naman ay mayroong 4 na week. So, 3 times 4 is equals to 12. So, 3 class days times 4 is equals to 12 days kung nasa monthly na tayo. Yung sa retrieval naman, 3 class days times 4 is equals to 12 class days pag monthly na. So all in all, 12 plus 12 is equals to 24. Thus, if the learner has only made a total of 4 contact efforts against 8 scheduled contact efforts, then he or she will have 12 class days present and 12 class days absent. Okay, syempre, kasi kalahati lang yung kanyang contact efforts. Ang ibig sabihin po nito ay sa 4 na module na dapat ma-release sa kanya sa isang buwan, 2 lang ang kanyang na-receive. 2 lang ang kanyang kinuha at ang kanyang sinubmit. Okay? The learner shall be considered present even in the delayed or non-submission of a module as long as there is communication made between the parents or guardian or learner. So dito po, kahit po hindi po na-submit ang module, kinuha pero hindi na-submit, as long as mayroong communication na ginawa ang parent or guardian or ang learner mismo, ay hindi po siya considered as absent. So tatandaan po natin yan, mga ka-FYI. Okay, pupunta naman po tayo sa LAC 3. Ang LAC 3 naman ay gagamitin natin na conversion kapag ang ginamit nating distance learning modality ay printed modular or digital modular. Okay? So, the total number of submitted outputs modules regardless of score can be converted into class day attendance. Okay? So, regardless of score ha, kasi ang pinag-uusapan lang natin dito sa LAC ay ang class attendance. Okay? So, assign class day equivalency for the percentage of module output submission by getting the number of outputs or modules. To illustrate the week schedule of 6 class days in a modular learning approach is the complete attendance, which is 100%. The number of submitted modules and number of required modules for the week may vary. Okay? Pupunta tayo dito sa example natin. So, weekly checking tayo. Number of submitted modules, 6 modules. The number of required modules, 9 modules. So, ang kanyang na-submit lang ay 6 modules. Pero ang dapat niyang ma-submit ay 9 modules. So, ang complete days of attendance niya ay 6 days. Meron tayo ngayong formula. Okay? Ang formula po natin ay number of submitted modules divided by number of required modules times complete days of attendance. Okay? So, dito po natin sa ating example ay the number of submitted modules, which is 6, then divided by number of required modules, which is 9. So, 6 divided by 9 is equals to 0.67 or 67%. Then, yung 67% will be multiplied to complete days of attendance, which is 6 days. So, 0.67 times 6 days is equals to 0.02 or equivalent to 4 days present for the week. So, yan po ang pag-convert ng ating submitted modules into class attendance dito po sa LAC 3. Kung ang ginagamit nating learning modality ay ang modular, okay? Yung printed or digital, okay? Thus, if the learner has submitted 6 modules against 9, which is the required module for the week, then he or she will have 4 class days present and 2 class days absent. Okay. So, pupunta naman po tayo ngayon sa School Form 3, SF3, which is also known as Books Issued and Returned. If the school is releasing books and other learning materials to learners, SF3 may be used. Okay? So, kung ang ating school, kung tayo po ay nag-release po tayo ng books, ay gagamit po tayo ng SF3. Kung hindi po tayo nag-release ng books, pero nag-release tayo ng learning materials, halimbawa yung modules at saka yung LAS, gagamit din po tayo ng SF3. Okay? Hindi lang po tayo gagamit ng SF3 kung wala tayong nirelease na book at saka learning materials. O, diba? So, klarado po. This form can also be utilized to record the distribution and retrieval of learning modules. In using SF3 for the recording and monitoring of modules, the title of the book shall be replaced by an appropriate reference code or with the title of the module being issued or distributed. So, kung wala tayong nirelease na books, pwede natin gamitin yung SF3 para po doon sa ating mga nire-release na modules. Ang ano lang ay, of course, yung title ng book ay i-replace natin ng reference code or kaya ang title mismo ng module na ating nirelease sa ating mga mag-aaral. Okay, so ang SF3 po natin wala naman pong pagbabago, parehas pa lang ng dati. Pupunta naman po tayo sa School Form 4, SF4, which is also known as Monthly Report of Learner Movement and Attendance. This form is consolidated report of School Form 2. The adjustments are as follows. So meron po tayong mga adjustment na ginamit or ginawa dito sa ating School Form 4. Letter A, instead of monthly submission to the District Division Office, School Form 4 shall be submitted only quarterly. So, dati-rati monthly yung SF4. Ngayon po, because of pandemic, ay isasubmit na lang natin quarterly. Replace the column for dropout with no longer participating in learning activities or NLPA. Ano po ba ang ibig sabihin ng NLPA? NLPA is a status of learners whose parent or guardian or even the learner has failed to communicate or has not made any efforts to contact the class advisor for at least 7 consecutive weeks. This status is also appropriate for learners who have expressed desire to stop participation in any learning activity. So yan po ang ibig sabihin ng NLPA. If the learner is expressing desire to continue participating in learning activities, after 7 consecutive weeks of non-participation, the school head may assess the situation and decide for the best interest of the learner. Okay? So, dito po sa pag-report natin ng NLPA ay, of course, kung meron nga po siyang yung wala ng contact time ng 7 consecutive weeks. Pero, yung learner po na yan, after ng 7 consecutive weeks ay nag-express naman po siya ng desire na mag-continue, magpatuloy sa pag-participate ng learning activities. Ang gagawin na po natin na class advisor ay ipapaabot na po natin ito, isasanggunin natin ito sa school head. At ang ating school head ang mag-a-assess para po sa best interest ng learner. Okay? And of course, additional po na binago natin sa SF4 natin or dinagdag natin, ay additional data fields for mortality or death. So ito nga po, yung additional data fields for mortality or death ay kung ang ating mag-aaral ay nagkasakit or since pandemic ngayon, na-infect ng COVID-19 tapos namatay. So yan po, ito po ang gamit ng field na ito na for mortality or death. At ito po ang sample natin ng SF4, which is the monthly learners movement and attendance. Okay. So ito po ay dati-rate drop out dito ang nakalagay. Ngayon naman po, ang ginawa na natin ay no longer participating in learning activities. Okay? So ayan. Para mas malinaw. Yan po ay ang binago natin. At of course, ito rin po ay ang idinagdag natin na mortality or death. Ito po yung additional field natin sa SF4. Ngayon naman po, ang pag-uusapan natin ay tungkol sa SF8 or School Form 8, which is the Basic Health and Nutrition Profile. Parents or guardians may administer the actual measuring of weight and height, or ito po ay ang BMI, Body Mass Index, and submit a reading result to the class advisor. For parents or guardians who have limited resources or ability to make the actual measurement, they may seek the assistance of a barangay health worker and or other health professionals. The reading result may be reported to the class advisor for encoding in LIS. So dito po sa basic health and nutrition profile natin, since wala po tayong face-to-face na contact sa ating mga learners, ay ang kanila pong mga magulang o kaya guardians ang mag-a-administer ng actual na pagsukat ng kanilang timbang at saka ng kanilang height, ng kanilang taas. At ito na lang po ay isasubmit ng kanilang mga magulang sa mga class advisors para po sa encoding sa LIS. Okay? Ngayon naman po pupunta tayo sa School Form 9, which is the Progress Report or Progress Report Card. Instruction and guidelines related to assessment and computation of grades are available in the DepEd Order number 31, Series of 2020. The following may be considered in the preparation of SF9. Letter A. Indicate at the bottom part of each column the learning modality being adopted in each quarter. So ito po ang nadagdag dito sa ating card. Ilalagay na po natin, i-indicate po natin kung anong learning modality ang ginamit natin sa bawat quarter. Letter B. The character traits and core values portions of SF9 are not required to be accomplished. Okay? So yan po. Ngayon po, ito po ang sample natin sa Report on Learning Progress and Achievement na parte ng ating card. Okay? Ngayon, andito na po, ito po yung idinagdag natin, which is dapat po indicate po natin kung anong klaseng learning modality sa quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 at saka quarter 4. Okay. Pupunta naman po tayo sa SF10, okay, which is the permanent record. SF10 shall be prepared at the end of the school year. The department shall also issue further instructions in accomplishing the said form. Nevertheless, for grades 5 and 6 who are still using Form 137, instructions for SF9, character traits, and core values shall be applied. Okay, so kanina, di ba, sinabi natin or binasa natin na hindi na po ina-apply yung character traits at saka core values. Kung ikaw po ay nasa grade 1 to 4, pero sa grades 5 and 6 ay applied pa rin po ito. Kasi nga po ay gumagamit pa po tayo ng character traits. Ito po kasi gumagamit pa po tayo ng Form 137, yung 5 at saka 6. Hindi pa po Form 10 or SF10. Ngayon po pupunta naman tayo sa checking of forms. Checking of school forms. Number 1, to minimize physical contact between individuals and thereby to reduce the possibility of COVID-19 transmission, the process of checking of forms shall be simplified. Okay? Number 2, the division level checking of school forms which is being conducted by the Division Checking Committee or DCC as stipulated in Section 5, paragraphs A1, B2, and C2 of DepEd Order number 11, series of 2018 is hereby suspended. Kasi nga po, pandemic po ngayon. Number 3, the annual checking of school forms shall only be done at the school level by the School Checking Committee. So very clear po. Ang annual checking ay gagawin lamang po sa school level by the School Checking Committee. The school level checking committee may be conducted through online and or on-site. Pwedeng on-site, provided that health and safety protocols are being observed. Okay? Number 4, the result of the checking of forms initiated by the School Checking Committee is deemed final and can be used by the school to complete its submission in LIS. Okay? So, final na po. Legal na legal po yung result ng checking of forms na initiated po sa ating school. Okay, pupunta tayo sa other matters. Number 1, the department shall issue further instructions in accomplishing School Form 5, which is the report on promotion and level of proficiency, and School Form 6, which is the summarized report on promotion and level of proficiency at the end of the school year. Okay? So, maghihintay pa po tayo ng further instructions sa ating division office or from the national level para po sa pag-accomplish ng SF5 at saka SF6 natin. Number 2, the adjustments made which will be posted in and can be accessed through the Learner Information System or LIS shall be incorporated in the school forms for school year 2020-2021 in all public and private schools as well as state and local colleges and universities offering basic education program. Okay? Number 3, the regional or school division offices and even schools are highly discouraged to introduce localized forms that only duplicate data in these nationally issued forms. So ito po ang pinakamahalaga dito. Ang region po at saka ang division po at of course ang frontliners po, yung school ay highly discouraged talaga na mag-introduce ng mga localized na form na nagdo-duplicate lang ng data dito sa nationally issued na forms. So, ang nararapat po talaga kung ano po ang inisyo ng national level ng DepEd National Office, yun lang po ang dapat na ginagamit natin. Okay? So, very clear po. Okay, at yan nga po yung interim guidelines of the preparation, submission, and checking of school forms for the school year 2020-2021. Stipulated in the DepEd Order number 14, series of 2021. Okay, additional din po, lahat po ng school forms natin, simula po sa SF1 papuntang SF10, ay ito po ay nakukuha, da-download din po ito doon po sa ating LIS. Okay? So kung hindi pa po tayo masyadong well-versed doon sa internet, sa LIS, ay pwede po tayong magpatulong sa ating school ICT coordinator kasi updated yan sila. Okay? Kasi nga po, yung lahat po ng SF na gagamitin po natin, sa baba po ay mayroon doon LIS generated. So kapag ang firm na po yun na ginamit mo ay wala pong nakalagay na LIS generated at walang date doon, ay maaring hindi po yan tanggapin. Okay? So, pwedeng tanggapin sa ating school level, pero maybe pagdating po sa medyo mataas na ay magkakaroon tayo ng problema. Kasi dapat po talaga, dapat meron pong LIS generated at permado po yun, signed po yan ng School ICT Coordinator po. Okay? So, yan po ang nararapat nating gawin para okay po, updated po ang lahat ng forms natin na ating i-accomplish at maisasubmit natin at maipapacheck natin sa School Checking Committee. Okay? So, sana po ay meron kayong natutunan, meron tayong naintindihan dito sa ating guidelines sa pag-prepare, sa pag-submit at saka sa checking of school forms dito ngayon sa ating current school year, which is the school year 2020-2021 or tinatawag nating pandemic year. Okay? So, mga additional lang po, kung meron po kayong mga katanungan dyan, pwede pong itanong ninyo sa baba sa ating comment section para po mapag-usapan. At meron po tayong mga iba pa dyan ng mga magagaling na mga teachers, mga school heads natin, yung mga officers natin from the districts and of course sa division na pwedeng makasagot ng mas kompleto sa ating mga tanong. Okay? So, salamat po sa panunod at pakikinig. Ito nga po ulit si Teacher Das at ito ang Dass FYI TV. At dyan nga po nagtatapos ang ating discussions. Nararapat lang po na ibahagi natin sa iba ang ating mga natutunan. Inuulit ko po, ito po si Teacher Das nagsasabing, be educated, share the blessings, and help others. Maraming salamat po.